Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Rangers Rabble podcast. About 25 minutes ago, this was going to be a very different show. But yeah, reaction here to Rangers 5, St Mirren 2. I'm joined by Craig and James. Hello, gentlemen. How are you? Hello, everybody watching. I hope you're well. You can probably tell I'm extremely tired for no reason than I'm old. But I'm feeling very, very tired. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Do the usual stuff. Help the channel grow, etc., etc. We do have a live show coming up in Lounge 72 in Uddingston on the 19th of May. Tickets for that are in the description. I think there's about 20 left, 25 left, something like that. So if you want to tag along and help raise money for the Rangers Charity Foundation, then do so. Craig, how are you?
I'm very well. Had a lovely week off, so I've been not on here very much. But I'm a lot better than I would have been 35 minutes ago.
Yes.
If that game had carried on the way it was going to be.
Yes, James, how are you, my friend?
Aye, all right, mate. Same as Craig and yourself, mate. Probably would have a different reaction had it been 25 minutes ago.
I didn't see that the last three goals coming. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't see where the goals were going to come from, even though we'd already scored two. But James, can you just start us off with a nice, easy question? Can you just explain that game?
No. I can't. I don't know what to say, guys, because like I say, I thought after we'd missed the penalty, and I thought, oh Christ, here we go. We get the goal, a very good, well taken goal. I thought we Cantwell, good team goal, and I thought, we'll go and stroll it now. Then it just, I don't know, they just went into, this is too easy, man. We've got to try and spice this game up a bit, and the mistakes again. I just thought it was unbelievable.
I know it was a game, Craig. There was no concentration, really, was there? Do you know what? I had the feeling of the final game of the season.
Yeah,
that was the feel I got off. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's what they said on. I think somebody saw that on Twitter that said it very much felt like a last one or two games of the season type thing where everyone's going through the motions. People just want to go on holiday. The players want to be there, but obviously we've still got 7 or 8. So it was a weird game. If you saw that game from a distance of 5-2, you think, Rangers have sort of walked it, which they did, but it didn't seem like that for a good portion of the game.
I'll give you some stats, James. Shots, Rangers 23, St Mirren 5. On target, Rangers 11, St Mirren 4. We had 79% possession. That's easy for me to say. 734 passes, and my passing accuracy was 89%. That's the first and last time I'm ever going to read out stats, because that doesn't really tell the story of the game at all, does it, James? We were so lackadaisical. The defending for the goals was horrendous. The passes were going astray. It took Cantwell a while to get into the game. I thought Raskin played well, played okay, was looking to drive forward, but I mean, it was just blah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a slog. I just thought that, again, when I thought we would get the first goal, I thought we'd go and get another 3 or 4 goals up. But I don't know, I think the players have forgot how to clear a ball or shut a man down or follow a guy, because it comes to that Tillman lets a guy go after him for the first goal. Don't get me wrong, the finish for that O'Hara was a belter. Taking the man touch and just smashed it into the top corner. But for us, again, it's just lackadaisical defending, laziness to go and shut a man down. And I think obviously McGregor could do better and all with his second goal. The guy just seems to, for a goalkeeper, man, he's forgot everything about. He's not gave up diving.
Listen, I'm going to have to correct you because you'll get clipped up by a fan of another podcast. It's lackadaisical, not lackadaisy.
All right. Sorry.
If I don't pull you up for it, then there'll be somebody that'll clip it and go, oh, look, they can't speak. There you go. James, straight back to you. Bebop boop. I don't really need an invitation to say that, but I do enjoy saying it. in with a super chat. Told you Suter was class, not even fully fit. After, and we'll come on to Ben Davis in a wee second, after obviously last week making the mistake, what did you think of Suter today?
Very good. Thought he's proved me wrong. After last week's performance, I was quite kind of very critical of Suter, saying that we shouldn't have signed him and stuff like that. If you buy for these clubs, you end up playing like these clubs. But no, he had a very good game today. Very sound on the ball. Done what he had today.
I mean, it wasn't under a lot of pressure, Craig, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know we had a few defensive lapses, but I mean, Suter is what Suter is, isn't he? He's a good defender and he's good for us in this league. I thought he was, like James says, I thought he was good today.
Yeah, he was pretty solid. I mean, he's a type of defender that he defends first. He's not too doesn't like to be too clever. I mean, although he did play one brilliant ball first half to Tillman, but his first job is to defend. Whereas we got other defenders who sort of like to keep the ball and sort of have the ball at the feet. He very much he's the sort of defender where if you had a last 5 minute sort of siege, you'd be happy with him being there to sort of head balls away and just boot the ball into the stand. But yeah, I thought he was pretty solid. The few things he had to deal with, he dealt with pretty well. Although I think he did head the ball straight to their bloke for the second goal, but he's just headed the ball away and sort of come for a ruck of players.
John Lammy, in my super chat. Thank you very much, John. Greatly appreciated. Cammy, if the players are really starting to down tools, I'd be raging. James, I don't think they're down in tools already at this point in the season. There's still a massive semi-final coming up. I think if you just put it into context today, I mean, look, we've won 5-2, right? So, we can't be screaming and shouting for the rooftops looking for perfection. We won 5-2 and we done what we had to do. It was just turgid, I think is probably the best way to describe it. I don't think they've down tools. I think it was just one of those games.
Just one of the games. They couldn't get going. Typical St Mirren performance when they come to Ibrox. You know what I mean? They're always in your faces and stuff like that. And it also took a while to break them down. But that's normal for me when teams come to Ibrox, unless, of course, it's the other mob across the road or whatever. Or sometimes it's Hibs. I'll obviously open up a bit to obviously kind of let you play. But any other club comes to Ibrox, they tend to just sit with a back five and it's up to you then to try and break them down. But you get games like that when you can't just break teams down, and it takes a wee bit of magic. Obviously, I thought Cantwell's first goal was a belter. It was a good team play, and the flick was lovely of the keeper. So no, it was just one of the games, wasn't it?
Curry actually makes a good point here, Craig. So what did we learn from that game? Did we learn anything new? I don't think we did we?
That we need to build the midfield next year around Raskin and Cantwell. That's what I learned from the game. And that Ryan Jack, even though we sort of he has his injury problems, he's sorely missed when he's not playing. I think those are the two things I picked up from the game. Cantwell was just unbelievable again, and he's the sort of quality he's got. I mean, the fifth goal just is the epitome of Todd Cantwell. Took about 4 players out of the game, and a ball that there's probably 2 players at the club that could play that ball. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but there's probably 2 players at the club that can play that pass.
Well, Jimson, we scraped a victory after being stuck at 2-2. Martin must be the new director of football with them excuses. Listen, if Rangers want to phone me up and offer me the director of football job, I'd quite happily take it right now. I'm not making excuses. Listen, we weren't great. And it was, like I said, when we first started, James, it was 2 each. And for me, St Mirren deserved it to be 2 each. Because I don't think they just sat back the whole game. They did try an attack. And we didn't look great. So it was 2 each, staying 2 each. And if anything after St Mirren scored, I thought, oh, here, by the way, I think they might go and get a third. But at the end of the day, you've got to credit the players for coming back and going on and scoring another 3 goals.
Obviously, the other one saying there about, I can't remember who, the guy, the last comment about what we've learned. We've learned that we can dig in and actually dig results out. It's that old saying, mate, I'd rather win a game ugly than lose attractively.
How does that go for girlfriends?
I don't know, mate. Don't ask mine anyway.
Do you know that way something comes into your head and you go, I just shouldn't have said that. Apologies to anybody offended. Craig, we got a penalty quite early on in the first half for a foul on, I want to say, Tillman. No, Raskin, sorry. No arguments. There was obviously a VAR review, but foul on the line or just inside the box. No
arguments. I think the VAR review was more checking that it was actually in the box, which it was. I think they were just double checking that. No real complaints. I think the fact that none of the St Mirren players sort of protested said a lot. I think the boys just got caught with Raskin, who had a bit of a burst of pace and sort of just nicked the ball off him and just goes down. But no complaints with the penalty. The penalty itself, I think Stu said in the chat that he always feels a bit nervous when Tav, even though he's took some bottle penalties, he always gets a little bit nervous. And I think he just tried to be a bit too clever and sort of out with the keeper. Whereas I'm a bit old-fashioned. I want like a Julian Dix type penalty and just run up and just smash it down the middle sometimes, which I think that's probably what he should have done. But at that point, I was starting to have the fear of, is it going to be one of those days with a missed penalty after 3 or 4 minutes? But it wasn't to be soon after.
Right, Curry's obviously trying to attack me for some reason, right? Martin, only thing now for me is that Davis is starting to look sus in defence, which I'm starting to agree with you on, and we'll come to that in a wee minute. We can dig into beat St Mirren and then loads of ha-ha-has, and then right you are. When did we have the God-given right to just walk over the top of any team, regardless of the level? What you have to do is you have to play well, play to your strengths, and if we play to our strengths, then we rattle St Mirren. We didn't play well. We were about 20 minutes from drawing a game with St Mirren, and then we dug in, and then we won. I don't really see the big issue with that. I see people out there who think we've got the divine right to just go out and beat anybody. I don't know what goes through their heads. I genuinely don't.
You've got to win the battle first, mate. And then you can go.
We don't have the divine right to beat anybody.
No.
That's Celtic fan thinking from me now. So it is. James, talk to me about something else. I want to, what are you doing next week?
Well, it's my birthday tomorrow, mate, so I'm looking forward to that, mate.
That was a really short answer. I was expecting something a bit longer so I could think of something else to talk about.
Only thing, mate, I could come up there early now, mate. So
no, but in all seriousnness, James, the St Mirren equaliser, I have to say it's a fantastic finish for O'Hara. But again, defensively, we're just a bit all over the place.
It's as if nobody wants to take responsibility for clearing. Do you know what I mean? It's that old act. I think obviously Craig picked up like kind of John Suter type kind of. You need somebody like that that's going to just put his boot through the ball, get rid of it, and then you can get back into your shape again. Instead of this, no, you go for it, no, that's your ball, or is that in your zone? Go and clear it. Just take responsibility. Take responsibility and just boot the ball into Rose's head and get back into shape again.
Yeah. Jim, we do have the right to expect more mental toughness from players who get rewarded handsomely. Of course we do. But they've done it. That's the only point I'm making. That is absolutely the only point I'm making. They showed that they have got that mental toughness. Doesn't matter if it's St Mirren or Forfar or Aberdeen or Manchester United, whatever. They showed us that they've got a wee bit of mental fortitude. Fortitude. That's a right word, isn't it? That is a right word. Craig, were you expecting any changes at half-time? I certainly was.
Weirdly, no, I don't think so. I think they mentioned it on Rangers TV that I think Michael Beale's sort of mentality would be, well, you've sort of got us into this mess. You now go out and basically sort it out. I think the goal itself is one of those that if we'd gone in at 1-0 at half time, you sort of say, right, that's fair enough. But the boys sort of hit that. I had to watch it back because I think somebody mentioned there's a couple of times where McGregor can come and get the ball potentially. He sort of sticks to his line and another goalkeeper maybe comes out, catches the ball and relieves a bit of that pressure. But the boy hits it so well. So I think, yeah, he would have the mentality that, right, it's your chance now to turn this around second half. But again, if he'd made changes at half time, I don't think many players could have really had many complaints. But I think it was probably the right decision into the second half.
Yeah, CJM again. People are just trying to pull me up today. I don't know what's going on. Martin, you forgot our first goal. You have gone missed penalty to them scoring. Well, James actually mentioned Todd Cantwell's goal twice. Excuse me, before I came to the penalty and then their goal. So James, Would you like to go over Todd Cantwell's goal again? Just for CGM.
I thought it was a very good team goal, mate. Right for the back. Ball obviously played through it. Ball comes out to Cantwell and he takes it brilliantly, but he wee flick of the goalkeeper. Thought it was a class goal all round.
In fact, you know what? That kind of brings up another wee topic of conversation. So actually, thank you, CGM, for bringing that up. Craig, Todd Cantwell today, what did you make of him? I thought in spells he looked really good, and then in other spells he was quiet. Is that fair?
I think I saw it differently. So I think he was the best player on the pitch. I think, yes, he had moments where the game he drifted in and out of the game a little bit, but the times he was involved, he was just unbelievable, and he showed that he's obviously played at a higher level, the Scottish Premier League. I think he's the work he does off the ball. I mean, I was up for the Dundee United game, and I was just watching him for a little bit off the ball, and the work he does off the ball is just as important as the work he does on the ball. I think the role he's playing, I think I got a bit of criticism a while back when we first signed him, when I said I could see him playing as a number 8, and I was told that I was completely wrong, and Todd Cantwell can't play as a number 8. He's a winger or a number 10, and he's proven he can play as a number 8 in our team. But I think the work he does off the ball is just as important. But for me, yeah, he was man of the match, and I know he was given man of the match by Rangers TV and the sponsors, and I think they got the right decision.
Yeah, probably. To be fair, probably. James, that goal from Sakala, 48th minute, 47, 48. You're thinking, after half time, come out, Rangers, come on, let's go and bury them. And you get a goal after 48 minutes, and you think we're going to push on.
Aye. I did think that myself, mate. I thought, right, here we go, right, this is it. We're back. We'll go on and score another 2 or 3 goals now, and we'll be on easy street. But again, concentration. Nobody want to take responsibility for me.
Aye, but let's try and be slightly more positive, folks, right? I don't want to be stuck in this depression mode after. What other support in the world wins 5-2 and is still unhappy? I don't get it. Well, I mean, I do get it because I'm a Rangers fan, but there you go. But James Sakala consistently coming up with the numbers, whether it's goals or assists or just his general plays. He's been invaluable, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, right, and I'm probably one of his biggest critics, because all I keep hearing is that fashion, but he runs about and he runs dead fast. And my answer to that was, well, go and join a running club if you're running. It's just, again, it's probably me being one of the ones that you don't take to a player. You don't know what he brings, but when you look at his stats, and one of my pals will be on texting me in a shortly, I told you again, Sakala coming up with a goal again, and no, he has been. You've got to give the guy credit where credit's due. He obviously, as the game goes on, he can use his pace to get in on the back of people, and he's a pest. He just keeps going. He just keeps running. So no, he has. I thought he took his goal really well again today. So I'll give him praise today.
Do you know, I'm not going to answer this question, and I won't answer this question if anybody asks me. But Craig, I'm going to ask you. Is Sakala up there for Rangers Player of the Season? Is he in the mix?
I think for his output, he's got to be. I think for what he actually provides on the pitch, he's got to be up there. There's another player who I mentioned a while back is up there, and I think it says a lot more about the rest of the team's performances more than that other player being outstanding. That's Barisic. So for me, those two are sort of in the running for the best player, and I think that just says a lot about some of the other performances more than Sakala and Barisic being absolutely 9 out of 10 every week.
I don't know, man. I think Sakala's been brilliant this season. I know that he can maybe take the ball and run with it and nick to the shops and then come back and all that. But I mean, James, just finally on Sakala, I don't know, maybe I'm just one of these guys who's pure madly in love with him, right? But he just offers so much to this team, and his pace, and I just love everything about the guy. I must admit, I'm back on board the fashion Sakala train.
I'll probably take another couple of weeks, mate, and in a good couple of performances. Now, if he does it against the other mob,
But he's done it against him this season.
Aye, If he comes up with the winner, I'll become the chairman of the fan club for fashion if he does it in the semi-final. But there's a game, I think it was against Dundee United, and I think it summed the guy up perfectly. The first time, it was the first half, he trips air the ball or something, and he could lay it into Morelos for an easy tap in. He falls air the ball, and then he goes and smashes one in free into the tap corner, and I thought, that's just fashion. And then I think we're just going to have to accept the boy.
I mean, if you look at how much fashion cost is compared to the likes of, I don't know, somebody who will come on and speak about in a minute, a Matondo, and the numbers fashion, I mean, even Kent, the numbers fashion gives us, and the assists that fashion gives us compared to the likes of Ryan Kent. But however, we shall move on. Craig, their second goal, explain it to me, please.
I can't explain it. It's just, I think I had to sort of look back at the telly a couple of times to sort of work out they've actually just scored, because it's just
again a decent finish by the boy, I have to say.
It's a fantastic finish. But like James said, if we had a goalkeeper that wasn't allergic to diving, because he might be scared he might break his hip if he dives anywhere, we might have a keeper that could actually stop shots that aren't.
I mean, he deserves a wee bit more respect than that, Craig.
He does, but at the same time, that's what I was shouting at the telly. In that why is he just sort of stood still? He does deserve a lot more respect.
Does a normal goalkeeper come for that cross though?
Possibly. I think it's one of those. I think the defense is all the 6s and 7s, because the ball comes back in a couple of times and back out a couple of times. I think Suter runs over 4 players in front of him and heads it straight to the boy. So I think he can't get a good header on it because there's 3 or 4 players in front of him. But it's one of those finishes where you just can't do nothing but hold your hands up and say it's a cracking finish. But it shouldn't get to the point where he gets the guy gets the ball on the edge of the box, because it should just be cleared out. There's probably 3 or 4 attempts where a defence that focuses on defending rather than trying to play football gets rid of it.
It kind of summed up us defensively recently, James, didn't it? It wasn't great. There was opportunities for us to deal with it, and there was actually a case in the first half. I think it was the first half where they're playing passy ball, and Ben Davies just takes forever to try and deal with it, and the boy nicks the ball off him and goes. It just seems and this is a word that we've already used and probably continue to use. Just defensively, there's such a lapse in concentration.
It seems to be. I think somebody put in the chat that there's a mistake. I think something about makes a mistake or something, and they could describe it as any other. That's my missus shouting by me.
Apologies for the language.
Yes. I've never heard language like that before in my life, by the way. But something about there's a mistake and it costs us a goal, and somebody's like, I could describe any game this season to us just because of the stupid defending that we've got and the concentration levels at times. And that's another thing. I don't think Connor Golson will be worrying about his place in centre defence now.
No, but just to take it back to the conversation around McGregor, I don't think most goalkeepers come for that cross, do they, James? I don't think we can lay that at McGregor. McGregor never came for crosses anyway.
I don't know, mate. Maybe because I'm a goalie myself, mate, or I was a goalkeeper. I'll probably be slower than McGregor getting down for a ball now, but for a goalkeeper, I think that's the thing. I don't know if the defence don't know if he's coming for it, if he's going to be staying back. They don't, and I think that's where that the kind of partnership kind of starts to build up between a the centre half pair and a goalkeeper. They don't know if he's going to come out, so they don't know if is he going to come out this time. Is he no? And it's that kind of thing, mate. But for me, I think he's been a great servant to the club. I don't like running McGregor down because he's saved his time after time. But it just seems to be that I think, unfortunately, time's caught up with the keeper.
I don't think there's really any doubt about that. I'm just saying that there's a lot of folk out there who just jump to it's McGregor's fault right away without looking at, well, who else was at fault? And I'm not 100% sure. I'm just not 100% sure that we can lay that on. In fact, I don't think we can lay that on McGregor at all. Craig, after the equalise, then you're thinking, all right, okay, here we go. They're back in the game. We're going to go and push on. Now, maybe I've got the worst memory in the world, right? I genuinely do. It's embarrassing how bad my memory is, right? But up until the Alfie goal, all the play in between that, I don't think we created much, did we?
No, I think there was a few minutes after they scored that I was starting to get a bit squeaky bum and thinking, this is going to be one of those days we're going to be getting to the last 3 or 4 minutes and it's going to be 2-2. There wasn't the game become a little bit scrappy and tended to be a bit more middle of the pitch. It wasn't really our end or their end where the ball was staying. And I think if we hadn't scored when we did, it might have become a sort of quite nervous last sort of 10 minutes or so. But thankfully, we did get the goal.
We did. Well, Kamara came on for Davies, Arfield came on for Tillman, and Hadji came on for Raskin. Hadji, obviously, who's somebody who we were discussing in the build-up, could maybe have started. And then shortly after they come on, James Alfredo gets his goal. Can I just say that the whole game, Alfie was on the right, on the left, in the centre, linking up the play. I thought Alfie actually had a good game today.
And that's what I said, mate, in the build-up and all. I still think that what Morelos brings to the team, you couldn't... unfortunately, Kolak's no got that in his locker to trouble defenders the way that Alfie does. He still, as I said, he still puts the fear into defences. He can run people, he drops off, he can go in deep, he can hold a ball up. And that's how even between now and the end of the season, if Alfie doesn't sign a new contract, I would still have Alfie up front.
Well, I mean, that's something that we'll talk about, obviously, in the close season. But he gets a double, Craig, as well. And I'm delighted. I genuinely feel like he deserved that today. I thought, apart from maybe, obviously, you've mentioned Cantwell, I think Alfie was up there as probably one of your best players today.
Yeah, I think he did deserve his goal. I think they mentioned on the telly, which I'd sort of slipped my mind, that he hadn't actually scored since the League Cup final. He hadn't actually scored since the 26th of Feb. So for the main sort of striker, it's a bit of a worrying statistic when he hasn't scored for sort of 6 weeks. Obviously, thankfully, we've had other players in that meantime. But yeah, I think he deserved his goal. I think he had a decent game. I don't think he was anywhere near peak Morelos, but he did have a decent game.
No.
And he sort of put himself about a bit. Did a lot more groundwork for the team. So, like you say, I think there was a couple of times when Sakala was through the middle. Tillman was playing more central. So Morelos was sort of, I think, at one point he was sort of playing more or less left back at one point because he was sort of tracking back and trying to get the ball back. But yeah, he deserved his goal. There was a moment where obviously we all thought it was offside to begin with, the second goal. But as it turned out with a VAR check, it wasn't. And I'm actually quite pleased for Matondo as well.
We're coming on to Matondo. We're coming on to him. Absolutely.
I'll finish there then.
Well, I was actually going to say, James, that before the 3 subs were made, Rabbi Matondo came on for Fashion Sakala. And you're thinking, okay, so he's going to play left. He's definitely they're going to move him over to the left. We'll see how he gets on. And he was busy. He looked up for it. Couple of, touches here and there went astray, but he's not played a lot of football. And then he comes in and gets his assist. Now, I have to say, there's no way a man who is that fast should be offside. But it turns out he played the line perfect.
Yes. He took his assist very well and had a good game for the time he was on the park.
Will we start jumping on the Matondo bandwagon, James? Will we start giving it Matondo's got to start against them and Matondo's a new saviour?
He's got to start in the semi, mate, and I'll become the chairman of his fan club and all. He did have a good game. Set the goal up and it kind of set us on the right of the 3 points.
It did. I'm happy for him as well, Craig, because like I say, players like Scott Wright and all that, you don't want to come on here every week and go, they're not good enough, we want rid of them, blah, 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 blah. You want every single player at Rangers to succeed. And I just hope, look, Rabbi Matondo didn't come on and pull up any trees. But what he did do was he came on and showed us something that he hasn't really quite showed us yet, which is good to see. And Colin's saying, Matondo needs a run of games. Of course he does. The issue being we've got a semi-final coming up. So does he get a run of games?
No, I think he'll probably get a run of games after the semi-final. Once I think that game will define the season either way, whether we win or lose. I think if we win that semi-final, you might see a few more of the fringe players playing in the last few games, and if we lose the semi-final, I imagine it'll be the same. So Matondo, maybe Lowry, Yilmaz, I think they'll be coming in for the last few games. I think I read it earlier or heard it earlier that obviously we played St Mirren, we got Aberdeen now, so we're not actually going to play another bottom six team basically the rest of the season. Every game is now going to be against a team in the top six. So there's going to be no easy games between now and the end of the season, but I'd imagine those players will get a run out. So Matondo, yeah, I think he does need a run of games. I think he is very much a confidence player that if he's playing well, the team are winning, it will spur him on. I still think deep down there's a player there. Obviously, whether we'll see it or not is to be determined. But I'd like to see him come in and basically get a run, because either he plays, we see there's a player there and he plays next season, or he plays, we don't see there's a player there, but then somebody might be tempted to basically come in the season and he would take him on loan or buy him permanently. So it's for everyone's benefit that he plays some part between the end of the season.
Could you not say exactly the same about Kent, though?
Yeah, you could say the same about Kent, but I think in my opinion, and this is just me speaking, I've seen enough of Roy and Kent this season to know that there is a player there, but is his heart in it? Whereas
I know, but if you want somebody to come in and buy him, he needs to play.
Not necessarily, because I think someone will buy him anyway. I mean, the fact he's out of contract, someone in Europe or England will take a punt on him, same as Morelos, because the types of teams, Championship and Premier League, they're going to be able to offer him the sort of wages he's after without any second thought.
Can I just say for everybody watching, apparently a Scottish horse, Corrick Rambler, has won the Grand National. I told my missus to put that on.
I've won the word sweep.
Well, I told my missus to put that on because JD put on Twitter that was, I think it was 10-1, and he said that was a definite to win it. So I hope she's done it. I'll be $5 on that. There you go. James Todd Cantwell again, a lovely assist, and Scott Arfield does what Scott Arfield does and gets himself a goal.
Told you. I said, I think it was Ian put in the chat earlier on there that I wonder how I've no jumped on it. But no, I said it in the build-up that for me, Scott Arfield just offers you something that I don't think anybody else at the club has got right now, to burst into the box. And that's what I'm saying. Another year's deal for the man. You're not going to lose, because you just say to him, you'll not play much, but when you do get played, you will be an important part of this team and you will be coming off the bench to help the team. And he's obviously done it again today. He comes off the bench, late run into the box goal. So, no. You
can't really ask any more of him, James, can you?
No, I know. Again,
for a guy who's not played a lot of football,
you get what you get with Scott Arfield. Do you know what I mean? The guy will run all day for you and stuff like that. And then obviously chips in with the goals as well for you. So that for me, it's a no-brainer to keep a guy like Scott Arfield around, because if he can teach one of the young guns that's coming through that kind of stuff, then it'll be invaluable to the team.
Right, so 5-2. Maybe the scoreline looks a lot more comfortable, Craig, than what the game actually was. We've got Aberdeen next week. Has anybody who isn't a normal starting 11 player managed to push themselves in for that game? Or do you think the manager will, I know this is a bit in the future, we don't know about injuries and stuff like that, but if people are available, does the manager go back to his normal 11?
I'd think so. I think going through the team, Suter will probably be starting because of Goldson probably not being available. The rest of the back four and goalkeeper picks itself. Lundstrom, for me, if Ryan Jack's fit, Lundstram hasn't done enough to dislodge Ryan Jack. Raskin and Cantwell play as well. And the front three basically pick themselves. Ryan Kent may come back in, but that's not more to do with what he's obviously put into the team. It's more for the ability he has got. So yeah, I think the rest of the team basically picks itself. The players that came on and did well, the likes of Arfield, Matondo, I think they'll be on the bench and may get some time as well at Pittodrie.
Right, James, final word to you. You get the final thought. You get the Rabbles' final thought of the weekend. Rangers 5, St Mirren 2. Sum up the game, how you're feeling, and then just say whatever you want.
Hard fought win, mate. Showed that we can battle back, and again we can win ugly now. That's one thing it's proved to me and this team. So I think it's just bodes well. We says we wanted a high score today. We got the high score, scored 5 goals. Granted, we conceded 2, but still get the 3 points and on to the sheep next week.
And it was good to see Alfie get his double. I'm delighted for him. I really, really am. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Like I say, we've got a live show on Friday the 19th of May at Lounge 72 in Uddingston. There's still about 25 tickets left for that. The link for them is in the description. And we are 11 people away from having 100 folk signed up to our Patreon. So if you want to head over there and help support the podcast and get access to loads of extra shows, the link for that is also in the description. Follow us on our social channels. We've tried to get our best. We've got 37 minutes out of a game that, I mean, even though it's 5-2, was a bit bleh. So, end of the day, Rangers won. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, James. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Check out the description, see what you want to do. And it will speak to you. The phone-in will be back Monday night, of course, so you can have your say. If you're, of course, a part of our Patreon, we are live tomorrow night. And I'm going to get some stuff recorded for next week as well. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll speak to you all again very, very soon.